We've coined a phrase, it's prohibition without revelation leads to obligation. This is what we've done in training a generation. We've given them the no or the prohibition around the gift of sexuality, and those are important. Those aren't, I don't want to disparage the no around God's commandments to flee youthful lusts and you shall not commit adultery. But we've given a generation a no without explaining, giving them a revelation, a rational basis for God's morality. This is what we have failed in. So we've got this phrase, prohibition without revelation leads to obligation. And out of what's echoing out of the heart of a generation is like, I really like to have sex, but I can't because I'm a Christian. And they're living by obligation. There's a desire, there's things inside them that they want to fulfill, but they're in a system where there isn't the kind of revelation. And God wants to change that. What he wants to do is he wants to give us a prohibition, his loving boundary around his gift of sexuality. God has given us a loving boundary around his gift of sexuality because he knows us better than we know ourselves and doesn't want us to be destroyed. So he's given us a prohibition with revelation so that it can be an inspiration, so a generation can live a life of dedication to a watching generation, so there can bring a reformation and a transformation in our nation and the nations of the earth. This is the reason. Once we have that thing born in our spirit and we understand the why and God's beautiful heart and design around his creation of sexuality and the beautiful boundary he's put around it. I mean, he gave fire a fireplace. We believe God's given sex a sex place. And it's this context of his beautiful boundary, the covenant of marriage.